Only reason I say they can't win this way is because, in all likelihood, in my estimation, well, obviously Patrick Mahomes has to beat Tom Brady, all right? And then after that, I'm thinking it's going to be Drew Brees. You're not beating Tom Brady and Drew Brees because you run the football effectively. You can't do that. I think it's going to take, not to say that those guys don't need to do that, but guys, I think it's going to take the heroics of Patrick Mahomes, meaning Patrick Mahomes resembling at least somewhat what we saw through the regular season in order to win these next two games, meaning the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. Playing the way you played Saturday won't beat New England, and it wouldn't beat New Orleans. That's all I mean by that.
Well, here's where I think you're wrong, because I don't look at it as the way that Damian Williams was running the ball as a negative. I look at it as that's just another facet that you got to defend. Think about that. As much as we talk about Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, now you got to deal with a running game that the Kansas City Chiefs can throw at you. That's another monkey wrench as far as a defensive coordinator that you have to deal with.
Mm-hmm. He's not Kareem Hunt, but he's damn good.
But he's damn good. And to speak on not being able to go all the way, remember, the Super Bowl's in a dome. So if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, that's all, man. Your offense is high octane if you're playing indoors. When you got to defend Patrick Mahomes, this cat is a different animal. Not only in the pocket can he pick you apart, not only can he do the little things to pick you apart, but he's special outside the pocket. The things that he's able to do on the run. And when you have the weapons like the Kansas City Chiefs have, it's hard to take away every single one of those guys that I know the New England Patriots are going to try to scheme and stop.
There is so much here. The answer is yes, the Chiefs can win the Super Bowl this way. I'm going to start with the negative, though, okay? They totally dominated the Colts. And the biggest shock of the weekend by far was the Kansas City defense against the run. And the fact that, again, that line of scrimmage, they were winning the battle up front. Mind-blowing. So absolutely, what can I tell you about the Chiefs to make you think, yeah, they should win the Super Bowl? The defense is coming around. They're dominant. Oh, my God, if the Chiefs have a dominant defense, they'll destroy everyone. Curiously, though, had Vinatieri not missed two kicks, it's a one-score game late in the fourth quarter. How did that happen? How is it a one-score game late in the fourth quarter the way the Chiefs dominated? But nevertheless, can they win playing that way? They can win the whole damn thing playing that way. The only thing that stopped me from picking the Chiefs was the defense, particularly against the run, and they were amazing. Now, to each individual player that you guys mentioned, Patrick Mahomes is like a young Aaron Rodgers in that he uses his legs to avoid pressure. He can pick up first downs with his legs. He's almost casual at the end of those plays that look like they're over, throwing first downs and touchdowns. And he has a more electric arm than Aaron Rodgers either. He has a Brett Favre arm, kind of it's electric.
But not as reckless.
Agreed.
Right.
He's not. That's why I say Aaron Rodgers, not Brett Favre. Right. But he has a Brett Favre arm. He's amazing. Okay, Damian Williams is excellent. I have to say about Tyreek Hill, he is probably the most explosive wideout in the game. And he doesn't get enough credit in a sense, because it'd be one thing if he was more of a kick return kind of guy, and it was just, he has good hands. Like at a certain point, we always talk about Julio Jones and Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham and DeAndre Hopkins. Tyreek Hill is there with anybody. Just because he's a little smaller, so what? He's the most explosive, and he can catch. And finally, Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the game. It's not close. This guy is unbelievable. So can the Chiefs win with those skills position players and now a defense that's flying around? Hell yeah.
First of all, any team can win playing defense the way that they played Saturday. What I'm saying is it was against the Colts team that we've grown to respect, but that still started out 1-5 and showed us why they started out 1-5 before they got things right. I'm predicting that the defense was going against the Colts. It would be a different story against New England. It would be a different story against a New Orleans. So I'm looking at things from an offensive perspective. I will always concede if you have an elite defense, you have a chance, because we understand you're prohibiting the other team from scoring. We get all of that. I'm saying look at the two pivotal losses that the Kansas City Chiefs had this year. On my birthday, October 14th, they lost to the New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football, 43-40. Patrick Mahomes throws for 352 yards. He balls out in the second half, almost stirs the comeback, but Tom Brady and them were able to keep the ball away from him to preserve the victory after falling behind early in the first half. On November 19th, I'm at that game in Los Angeles. It's the greatest experience in all my years as a journalist. It's the greatest experience I ever had in an NFL game in my life when the Rams beat the Chiefs.
Unreal.
54-51. Patrick Mahomes throws for nearly 500 yards, throws for 6 touchdowns. I understand they were both losses. What I'm saying to you is, why were they losses? We had Jared Goff and those boys balling out too that night. On October 14th, we had Tom Brady balling out. In this particular instance, the AFC Championship game, you're going against Tom Brady again. And if you were lucky enough to win that game and you advance to the Super Bowl, I believe it's going to be against Drew Brees, not against Jared Goff. So all I'm saying is you're going to need more offensively, and I don't think running the football.
Yeah, but that's just an extra
is going to get it done. It's going to take Mahomes.
Listen,
That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, and he's definitely more than capable.
More than capable
of doing that. And you also, this is a guy in that New England game. New England didn't punt the ball one time and won by 3 points.
That's right.
So that's how electric the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hold on, and I got to say something else about. And Warren Sharp had this. I tell you about Sharp Analytics. I follow him on Twitter. Indy had a great defense, right? It looked like. But they had the easiest schedule in terms of offenses they were playing of anyone in the NFL. In fact, they had the easiest of any team of the last 3 years that wound up in the playoffs, right? So, of course, their defense looked good. Of all the remaining teams, by far the toughest schedule in terms of the offenses they played, by far, is Kansas City. They are 25th overall, so they're seventh they face the 7th hardest offensive schedule of any team in football. None of the remaining teams were outside the top 10. So, of course, their defense didn't look good, but we may have been a bit fooled by the strength of schedule.
Mm-hmm.